All right, but with this, viewers, let's move on and let's put the spotlight on Reliance because just on Friday we had that AGM wherein Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries, in his speech at the 48th annual general meeting revealed the company's ambitious growth plans, hinting that it is ready to leverage the cutting-edge technology advancements, including artificial intelligence, across all segments of the businesses to turn the company into a deep tech firm. From Jio to retail to new energy, AI would be an integral part of Reliance's growth story. So let's go across and first listen into that.
Today, it is my proud privilege to announce that Jio is making all arrangements to file for its IPO. We are aiming to list Jio by the first half of 2026, subject to all necessary approvals. I assure you that this will demonstrate that Jio is capable of creating the same quantum of value as our global counterparts. I am sure that it will be a very attractive opportunity for all investors.
Okay, the AGM, and let's now discuss that threadbare. We've got Sandeep Agarwal, fund manager at Sowilo Investment Managers, joining in. Also joining in at the show right now, telecom analyst IIFL Balaji Subramaniam, to talk about how to read into the announcements made at the AGM. Gentlemen, both of you, thank you so much for your time. Sandeep, if I could really start off with you, because this seems like a little bit of a complicated piece. It's not as simple as what perhaps some of the AI platforms in the West are trying to do, or in the Far East as well. Help us understand, what your analysis has been here.
Hi, good morning, and thanks for having me on the show. And this AI subject is very close to my heart. Last 17 years, I am working on it myself. And I will explain in 45 seconds what they are trying to do. And it is a very interesting way they are implementing it. So you have three components which you need to implement AI. One is the software, one is the hardware, and the product. So on hardware side, what Reliance is doing is right now they are investing a lot of money on the data centers and the GPUs in their Jamnagar thing, which they have already mentioned. And for the software part, what they are doing is they already have a tie-up with Meta, and Meta has come out with Llama, which is the last known version of AI, which they have, and they are working on this LLM for quite some time. And most interesting why it is a big bet, because right now they are not known to be among the top 5 players in the LLM side, but what we know, they have poached a lot of good people from all the other AI providers in last few months, and I think that makes this thing very interesting. So what I believe is that while the Reliance is investing on the hardware side, on the GPUs and data centers, at the same time, this Llama offering will allow them to build these LLMs and tweak them according to Indian taste. And finally, they have one entity which they have acquired in 2019 called Haptic. They are trying to, build agentic solutions through Haptic, which they will be, right now they are selling in form of chatbots to the enterprise clients, but slowly they will use Jio platform to distribute it to the retail clients. So it is a fantastic strategy because, you already have Perplexity, which has come, and OpenAI has already come with 1/10 of the price. So you don't have a choice and you have to launch this. So I believe this is a fundamentally very, very positive way of setting up the things. And we know that we cannot build hardware, software, everything in a short period of time. So this collaboration which they are doing and the way they are trying to use the Jio platform to reach, I think it is a phenomenal, very, very good initiative. We are very positive about it.
Okay, so positive around about the overall AI announcements and everything related to the tech sector that Reliance has announced in the AGM. We also have Balaji Subramanian joining us on the show. And Balaji, hi, morning. Thanks for your time. Want to get your sense on the Jio IPO. The announcement in the AGM was that this is slated for the first half or early 2026. Help us understand what are your expectations from this Jio IPO, because it was earlier slated to be launched by the end of this year and now it has been pushed. What could be causing this delay, and how much of value unlocking are you expecting to see here?
Good morning. Thanks for having me. My read is that the delay, first of all, we are talking about a pretty large IPO. My estimate is that the enterprise value of Jio is close to $135 billion. And even if you remove the 20 billion odd debt, we are talking about an equity value of around $115 billion, which probably means that if you were to just rank Jio by market cap in the country, it would probably be around the fifth or sixth. So we are talking about a pretty large sized IPO. And so it is obvious that it is taking a little longer, especially because of the tariff related uncertainties that are there in the market. My take is that with now a firm concrete timeline being talked about, and let us not forget that when we said it could be in the second half of 2025 earlier, it was just a street expectation. Now that we have officially heard from the company that it is going to be in the first half of 2026, I think the urgency towards that builds. And I would also think that somewhere in this intervening period there could be another round of telecom tariff hikes, because that is what would go some way in terms of improving the profitability and shoring the return ratios of Jio platforms.
Okay, so that's the take on the Reliance IPO. But Sandeep, coming back to you, since you've touched upon the entire artificial intelligence part, also help us understand that with such heavy focus on AI, can we expect any big move or entry of Reliance in the Indian IT service as well as the software as a service, the SaaS industry? And if yes, how could this impact other IT companies?
So, our IT services companies and what Reliance is trying to do is totally different. And I honestly don't see them getting into there. But from an India perspective, if they are able to, in this partnership with Google and Meta, and if they are able to launch something like what Perplexity has already done or OpenAI is doing through their Jio platform and this tie-up with Meta, I think that will be a very, very interesting thing to happen in India. And also a lot of Indian IT services then will start getting huge amount of domestic business, which we have not got for a long period of time. We have been dependent on the Western markets for revenues. But then if this thing happens, then a lot of services revenue will come to Indian IT services also, because you will have to tweak these LLMs, you have to build these APIs, you have to run those agentic AI solutions and everything. And for that, you need people with Indian knowledge of Indian taste, Indian experience, and Indian data. So I think in a way it will be very complementary, and all the Indian IT companies which today are barely single digit India revenue, they can see a big jump there also. So I see it as a very, very good offering, but these things will take time because first of all, it has to come on platform. The enterprise version has to become hugely successful, acceptable. Then our technology spend as a country is also less. So how much the corporates will be able to spend? So it is a 5-10 year story. But in my view, in 5-10 years, India revenues of Indian IT services company will go up because of this development, in my view.
Interesting. Balaji, the same question to you, really. The company's targeting to double the EBITDA by end of 2027. You just talked about as to how you do see another round of tariff hikes coming in. So ARPU's surely taken care of. At an industry level, we are seeing CapEx, in the slow lane. How much of a role do you think Jio is going to play towards this achievement of doubling of EBITDA target, which Reliance has set out?
Their EBITDA in FY27 versus where they were in FY22. I think if you look at where they are today, they are fairly, well on the way towards achieving that target. And it is not. It is a fairly reasonable target. I don't see it as beyond their reach as we stand today. And if you look at Jio, if there is another round of tariff hikes, then we are looking at another 20% or so EBITDA boost coming just from Jio. And that would be around $1.5 billion or so, the incremental EBITDA from a tariff hike for Jio. So, with that also getting factored in, I think the company at the console level should be very close to achieving what they have set out for themselves.
So that's the take on that front. But Sandeep, also another arm that Reliance is really going all out on is their retail arm. And they've also set out a very lofty target of 20% CAGR over here that they expect to surpass. What's your take on what the SOTP contribution of retail could be in the overall Reliance pie? Because they do have some very big targets here.
No, so again, if you see this in overall perspective of they have already pushing their mobile apps and they are trying to target. So it is a very integrated offering which is there, and because this business, the QSR space, generally gets higher multiples than the energy segment and even to some extent the telecom segment. So the value at which retail can do at 20% CAGR, which they are targeting, I think will be immense. So and also we have to see it with the lens that how they will sell this and how it will be integrated with their physical store. I think that is the most interesting parameter to look at. All these things will start playing out once these offerings are out and once they go closer to the IPO. So I think a lot of these things are now unveiling, and we will see a lot of positive news in all those areas going forward. That is what my sense is.
All right. But Sandeep, very ambitious targets there, wherein the chairman has once again set their target to double Reliance EBITDA by 2027. But Sandeep, do you believe that the EPS upgrade can be at a similar pace? What are your thoughts on that? And do you believe that maybe because of that, we are seeing that even the shareholders are not rewarding the price so much? Because post the announcements, the stock was down 2%, and even today, not much of an excitement.
Yeah, so because most of the numbers, they have been compared over a period of 4 to 5 years, out of which we are in the middle path already. So a lot of numbers are close to what they are guiding. So there is no surprise, and that is the reason stock has not reacted positively. I think this in the whole AGM, the most positive thing to take away, and it will be again 5 years from now, which can make a material difference, is the whole Reliance Intelligence thing, which is something which they are building for future. Today, it may not get any value because it is at a very nascent stage and just conception stage. So I think that is the only reason why the stock has not reacted positively. And generally, these things take a lot of time to play out. And as already said, the lot of the numbers are already in that path of growth, what they are guiding.
That's the other thing, right, Balaji? Because Reliance is down in trade, even though the street is quite happy about all the announcements and the timelines in there. But yeah, for the existing shareholders, Reliance now becomes a holdco. And I guess, therefore, the discount that it's currently trading at.
Yeah, so I think that is probably one of the reasons why the stock fell a little bit on Friday, because when you have to get one of your group companies listed, you can either choose the IPO route, which Reliance has chosen, or you can do a demerger like what Reliance had done with JFS. Now the trade-off here is that if it is the IPO route, you tend to get a holdco discount once the listing happens. And but the flip side is that we don't know how much is going to be the OFS and the primary component of the Jio platforms IPO. But Reliance will continue to hold a majority stake in Jio platforms even post the IPO. If you go with the demerger route, then you don't have to end up with a holdco discount. But the flip side is that or rather, the promoter ends up with a minority stake in Jio platforms. So and eliminating the holdco discount, or the other way around. I think Reliance has chosen the IPO route. So of course it is it's a fine trade-off that they have made, and I do believe that at least in the recent months it was kind of getting clear that it is most likely going to be the IPO route and not demerger. So to that extent, I wouldn't call that as a significant negative surprise, but it does appear that certain sections of the street were anticipating a demerger. That could probably explain the stock price weakness.
Okay. Balaji, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time. And Sandeep, great speaking with you as well.